takes us back about 20 years to a quiet stretch of road in the Chicago suburbs. Picture it, row after row of those classic 3-flat apartment buildings lining both sides of the street for nearly a mile. No fancy high-rises, just sturdy brick homes stacked 3 high, with families crammed in tight. Parking? It's a nightmare. Side streets are dotted with houses, and street spots vanish faster than snow in a spring thaw. But our protagonist, let's call him Alex for this tale, had it a bit better. His family owned 2 of these buildings side by side, 6 units total. They lived in 2, rented out the other 4, and because it was their home turf, they had more land than most. Enough for a sprawling parking lot that could fit about 16 cars comfortably. For decades, everything ran smooth. Tenants parked without issue, neighbors respected the boundaries, and life hummed along like a well-oiled engine. But then, cracks started showing. Alex noticed it first on a crisp fall afternoon. He'd pull into the lot after a long day at work, muscles aching from whatever manual job he held back then, only to find an unfamiliar sedan squeezed into a spot meant for his tenants. At first, he shrugged it off, maybe a visitor who got lost. But it kept happening. More cars, more often, strangers treating his family's property like a free public garage. His stomach would twist with that slow building irritation, the kind where your jaw clenches and you mutter under your breath, "Who do these people think they are?" One day, it boiled over. Alex spotted a flashy SUV parked smack in the middle, blocking 2 spots. He maneuvered his own car to box it in, heart pounding with a mix of anger and anticipation. Let them sweat it out, he thought, picturing the driver's panicked face. Sure enough, minutes later, this guy bursts out of a nearby building, tall, burly, with a smug grin that screamed entitlement. Alex watched from his window as the man circled his trapped vehicle, face reddening like a tomato. Then, in a move that made Alex's blood run hot, the jerk hopped in, revved the engine, and plowed right. He wasn't about to let it slide. No way. Alex called a tow company the next day, had them slap up those big, bold signs. Private parking, violators will be towed at owner's expense. It worked like a charm. The random cars vanished, and peace returned. For a while, at least. Alex would glance out at the empty spots and feel a small swell of pride. That's right, he'd think. This is our home, our rules. Fast forward to New Year's Eve. The air was biting below 0. The kind of cold that seeps into your bones and makes every breath feel like inhaling shards of glass. Snow blanketed the ground, and the suburbs were alive with distant fireworks and party horns. Alex had been out running errands, maybe picking up champagne or snacks for a quiet family celebration. He turned onto his street, headlights cutting through the dark, and his heart sank. Every single spot in the lot was taken. Not just taken, overflowing. Cars jammed in at angles, some double parked, others spilling onto the street, blocking everything. His tires crunched over ice as he pulled up, engine idling, but there was nowhere to go. He gripped the steering wheel so tight his knuckles whitened, a vein throbbing in his temple. "Not tonight," he growled to himself. "Of all nights, not now." He scanned the plates, none were his tenants. These were party crashers, probably from down the block. His mind raced back to that bush-trampling idiot. Rumors had trickled in from neighbors. The guy lived several buildings away in a cramped 3-flat with no parking of his own. He'd been bragging about borrowing spots from that big lot over there. Alex's face burned with fury. This wasn't just inconvenience, it was outright disrespect. Years of maintaining that lot, shoveling snow, patching asphalt, all for some entitled fool to treat it like his personal valet service. Alex slammed his car door, the sound echoing in the frigid night, and stomped inside. His family gathered around as he vented, pacing the kitchen floor. "We've put up with this crap for too long," he said, voice low and trembling. "But the tow company?" "Swamped with holiday calls. Few hours at best," they said. Alex hung up, staring out the window at the sea of metal invaders, feeling that familiar powerlessness creep in again. Then, a spark. An idea born from the cold itself. He rummaged in the garage, heart racing with a mix of nerves and excitement. There they were, the old lawn sprinklers and hoses, dusty from summer. This could work, he thought, a sly grin creeping across his face despite the chill. He dragged them out, connected one hose to the laundry room faucet inside hot water to keep things flowing without freezing the setup. Outside, he positioned the sprinklers strategically, their nozzles aimed like silent sentinels. Flipped the switch, and water arced through the air, misting over the cars in a fine, warm spray. But in that sub-zero bite, it froze on contact. Alex moved methodically, pounding shook the doors, doorbells buzzing like angry hornets. Alex peeked through the curtains, suppressing a chuckle. A crowd of shivering partiers huddled outside, faces twisted in outrage and confusion. Cars encased in thick ice shells gleamed under the streetlights, doors frozen solid, windshields opaque with frost. One guy tugged at his handle, slipping on the slick ground and landing hard on his butt. Another hammered at his window with a gloved fist, yelling profanities that cut through the night. And there, in the middle, was the bush trampler himself, red-faced and bellowing orders like he was still in charge. Alex and his family stayed put, smiling in the warm glow of their home, and called the cops. When the officers arrived, flashlights sweeping the scene, they could barely stifle their laughter. "Looks like Mother Nature had a field day," one cop snorted, eyeing the icy chaos. The partiers spun their tale. "Our friend said we could park here. He owns an apartment down the block." Alex pointed calmly to the tow signs, his voice steady but laced with triumph. "This is private property. Move 'em or lose 'em." With his permission, the cops ticketed every vehicle fines stacking up like snowdrifts, but nobody could even get inside. Doors jammed, locks iced over, the tow trucks rolled in, hooks clanking as they hauled away the frozen fleet one by one. The bush trampler sputtered, veins bulging, as his own car vanished down the street. Alex stood there, arms crossed, feeling a rush of sweet release wash over him, years of frustration melting away in that moment of pure, earned victory. Stories like this remind us that sometimes karma needs a little nudge. Alex didn't just get even, he restored balance, proving that disrespect has consequences. It's a lesson in standing your ground, because when push comes to shove, justice can be as cold and unyielding as a Chicago winter. If this icy revenge gave you that satisfying chill down your spine, smash that like button and drop a comment below. What's the most epic payback you've ever pulled off or witnessed? Don't forget to subscribe and turn on notifications for more Reddit stories that deliver the emotional punch you crave. Thanks for watching. Stay warm out there.